Little commentary before we start our review. So 6,000 naira for a plate of pepper soup. And after the purchase, there is a review. For the fact that the purchase was made from a popular person's restaurant, now sparks a backlash on the reviewer. One of the major challenges that reviewers face. Now, this person purchased a product and saw the product that was brought and actually complained that it was so small, it didn't look nice at all. The serving was really poor, as well as the service, because the food was cold, like she complained about. And now, because it is Hilda Bassi's restaurant, a lot of people are saying, what do you expect paying 6,000 naira for a plate of pepper soup? Personally, I don't really care. For the fact that you're even a popular person, I don't call it celebrity at this point, but a popular person that owns a restaurant, I think your service is supposed to be extremely nice. Now, this is the thing for me. If it were Okpe that did this review, everybody would really rally around and say, yes, this is it, this is that, and there will be a positive absorption of it. But now this somebody that actually spent her money to buy this food item from this restaurant, and now she's getting backlashes that why would she be doing that? She wants to run down someone's business. What does she expect and all of that? Again, she has every right. Okay, she has every right to make her comments about the food that she bought with her money to eat, irrespective of wherever she bought it from. And that is a fact. And I hope the owner of the restaurant, Hilda Bassi, will actually take very, very, very good note of the review and possibly even compensate her for that, because that's what will happen in the Western world and other places, other civilized places. With that, let me ask, are you going to spend your time, about 2 hours, to watch this very interesting movie we are going to review next? I kid you not, I still have issues pronouncing this name. Bonhoeffer, whatever, but this is the name of the movie just right here. So, Bonhoeffer. And I don't know why the movie is not even getting any recognition out there. It's so strange, for the fact that, number one, it speaks a lot about history, very interesting history that talks about what kicked off World War II. One of the major sparks of World War II. And for some reason, everybody maybe they didn't watch this movie or something. So the guy happened to end up being a pastor, a spy, and an assassin. Oh my goodness. See, I watched this movie. I remember watching it with wifey, and wifey's like, oh man, this movie is so interesting. I was like, yeah, it is. Because it started off like a casual movie that I was just supposed to watch and just, review. But for some reason, you watch it and you're like, oh, this is deep. Oh, this is really deep. And like I said, it has to do with what really initiated, or what were the things that led up to the kick of World War II. Okay? And it all started from the church. Interestingly, it all started from the church in Germany there. It all started from church in Germany, and I don't want to really break the movie down because I promise you it's a very interesting movie to watch. But let's just give a little breakdown or a little plot of the movie. So this movie spoke about this guy whose brother happened to fight in the wars, at that point in time, and it really affected him and all of that. And I think he ended up being a pastor. I mean, that was the first, right? So now, what happened? So Hitler at that point was actually mobilizing, and he actually was able to somehow dominate a major party there in what they call it in Germany, and gradually started infiltrating into the churches. Now, some of them, like this guy, were able to start dictating that this guy has dominated this major, party system, and now he's coming towards the churches, and now they are now renaming the churches in line with what he had, in line with his brand. And it started being agitated and all of that, but first it was some fear, because at this point there was a real presence of the brand, that is Hitler's brand, already so present in what they call it in Germany. Then we now had this fear that crept on, and nobody could speak. And you had some of the officers from the army, from the Hitler's army, really coming up to the altars I mean, it was one. It's quite so a very interesting movie that just went underground because these guys were being challenged by to their fate at the point of death, and some of them really. I mean, he spoke, and to save his life, he was actually sent to UK, to the United Kingdom. I think it was Britain, and he took a note, and he was the person that actually went to pitch to them that this is what this man is doing in this country, and gradually, if he can win, if he can take charge or really, take over the church system, what stops him from taking over other neighboring countries and all of that? And that was the kick of it. That was how everything started, and that was how they initiated World War II. It was so crazy. I know I wouldn't have ever thought about. I would have always been curious, like what really caused it. Like what was the cause of this, but coming to the realization was so cool, like so cool to see that happen, and that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. So, like I said, it's a movie that does, for some reason, went underground, and he had to challenge his faith, deny his faith, sort of, to gain the trust of the brand. Then later on, he now came. It's just an interesting movie, I promise you, very interesting movie. And for some reason, people just didn't see it coming. Personally, I enjoyed every bit of it, but 2 hours plus, and it was just a beautiful movie. Again, like I said, would you spend your time to watch this movie? Just seeing the idea just listed out just on the name like that, Pastor, Spy, and Assassin, is so catchy, and for some reason went underground. Really recommend this, highly recommend this for anybody down to binge on it, especially on a Saturday, because it's actually a long movie, like 2 hours thereabouts. So you want to really binge, sit down and binge, because there are a lot of, how do you put it? There are a lot of things that if you are familiar with, the wars, you would see those certain things being how they came up, how they became things that came into limelight, and everybody, and it became a thing during the war and all of that. Very beautiful movie. Another side of the war that a lot of us didn't even know was actually depicted there. This is so beautiful. Again, like I said, I don't want to rate it, but would you or have you watched it? And if you have, don't forget to share your thoughts on this movie. It's a hidden gem. That's going to be the title, hidden gem for me. And with that, we'll move to the next review.